I want to explain exactly how you can use explosive growth tactics on YouTube Shorts to actually explode your channels. It's not going to be any like BS where I'm kind of like, walking around the line of giving the actual information. I'm just going to drop it for you guys and tell you guys exactly what to fix so you guys can actually implement it for yourself. So let's get into it. All right. So these are 3 different channels that I have here. Here's 1, 2, and 3. And these are all student channels that have helped pretty explosively grow their channel, right? They went from getting anywhere from like $500 a day to $4,000 a day. So let's talk about how we did this, right? How we done this across many different channels and how you guys can do the exact same thing to hit some pretty crazy numbers, right? Because it all comes down to the small things that make a big difference. A lot of people think you need to, do this. It's just about making a good video, right? I hear that going around a lot. And yes, it is true that you need to make a good video, but there's a lot of other things involved with making a good video that people don't talk about, right? Because if I made a video just saying, hey, make a good video, guess what would happen? No one would be able to know what to do because there wouldn't be enough information. So here's some actionable steps that you guys can do to actually increase the amount of views you're getting and subsequently the amount of money you are making per month on YouTube to get explosive growth. All right. So the first thing you have to understand is understanding the 5-3 method. Now, what is the 5 or sorry, wait. It's called the 5-3-2 method. I'm sorry. The 3-2 method. Now, a lot of these names I've kind of just made up to kind of help you guys conceptualize what I'm saying here. But what the 3-2 method is, right? It's basically you need to be uploading 5 videos a day, and 3 videos need to be you testing something different, and 2 videos need to be you doing something that you know works, right? And you may ask me the question, okay, Devin, so if I'm doing something that quote unquote works, but I've never gotten success, then how do I know it works? Well, proven formats, right? It's really good to replicate and then reiterate the type of content you're making. If you can replicate and then reiterate the content that you're making, it's going to be much easier for you to scale. Because if you see something that works, it will work again for you. You just have to make the content good. All right. So what can you exactly do to replicate and reiterate content? Well, first you have to find the niche, right? And I'm not going to go into finding a niche because I'm sure most people who are watching this already have a niche. If you don't have a niche, just watch some other videos I've posted about finding niches. But once you actually have that niche, you need to look at the actual outliers of that video and figure out what videos are getting the most amount of traction. And it's pretty simple, guys. Just look at what videos are getting the most amount of views. Once you see that, try to replicate the type of style they're doing. And no, I'm not going to get, into the saying, oh, you need to do this and do that and do this. It's that simple. Find the competitors that are doing the best. Look at the videos that they are making. Copy them, right? Replicate first. After you copy them, then you can reiterate their content, which is where these 3 new test videos comes in, right? So here's what Mr. Beast does, right? Good example. Let's say he does a tested format, right? Keeping someone inside a circle for 365 days. Let's see how much money they are willing to stay there to make. They make $10,000 per day, right? Then he sees it work. He's like, okay, let me try this with maybe in a shopping center. Or let me try this in a house. Let me try trapping 2 people underground together. Let me try trapping 2 people in the sky together, right? And it's the same format with different type of framing, right? I'm sure you guys have heard of the word niche bending. I love that buzzword. It's great. But really, it's just replicating and then reiterating the type of content you're making, right? Because if you replicate something that works and then you reiterate it, boom, you got a new style of content, right? And then all of a sudden, it's something that no one has ever seen before. So we're going from making videos from like, keeping someone underground for 10 days, seeing if they can survive, to keeping someone in the air for 10 days, seeing if they could survive. Same format, different framing. Both of them still get a lot of views, right? Now, what I said, most of you may think, okay, that was really broad advice, right? But actually take action on that, right? Go to your competitors, find the niches or find the videos that are popping off and getting millions of views. Once you find those videos that are getting millions of views, actually look at the content, figure out why it's doing well, replicate it. After you replicate their content, do it over again. You do it, right? After you start getting views, you can start testing a little bit of stuff because you get this thing called retention gut. And that's the next part of this video. What I want to talk about is retention gut. So what is retention gut? Retention gut is a word that I made up, right? And it's kind of a feeling you have in your chest when you're editing a video or you see a video and you know this video should probably be fixed here or this can be better here, right? It's basically a way for you to know this video is just gonna dip here. I need to fix this. And newsflash, the only way to build this skill of retention gut is through repeating the same thing over and over again, because a skill is built through repetition, right? So going back to these channels here that we've helped scale, for example, this student, he has a really good retention gut because he also has just been scaling so hard and been doing YouTube for so long, right? And as you can see here, he's been in the YouTube game for a very long time, but this is the highest peak he's ever had. We're going to be doing an interview with him soon. He's gotten some really amazing results, right? But the point still stands. You cannot build the skill of retention gut until you put in more reps. This is not something you can buy a course and learn. It's not something you can buy a mentorship and learn. It's not something you can watch one YouTube video and understand it. It is built through repetition, right? Much like how F1 drivers can react quickly when there's something in the way, right? They can react quick. You can't watch a YouTube video and then have really good reaction time. It is built through repetition. It is a muscle memory, a gut feeling you feel in your chest and your stomach when you see a video that's not doing well. You know what to improve, right? Learn this skill is built through repetition. So put in more reps and you will build a skill. This will help you analyze content and be able to improve later as you keep making more videos. All right. Here's the next skill that I need you guys to learn if you guys want to break and start getting explosive growth with your videos. Break your limiting beliefs. All right. Limiting beliefs is such a big factor I see in so many students. I don't even know how to spell beliefs right, whatever. So many students I see have a problem with limiting beliefs. What is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is I can only get this amount of views because my competitor got this amount of views. Or my video should get this many views because I hit these stats, right? You always need to be challenging yourself. I'm very open to criticism. If someone says you need to fix this, I will try to listen and understand, right? If someone's saying, hey, this is, maybe you could do something better here. When I get hate comments, I don't see it as hate, right? If it's blatantly someone just attacking, saying, hey, look, you look like an Indian scammer, it's like, okay, it's not really any criticism, right? But if someone gives like actual feedback, I try listening. And you need to give feedback to yourself and be able to understand what you need to improve. This is where limiting beliefs comes in. So when you have limiting beliefs, it limits you from getting the amount of success that you could have. For example, so many people watching this video have the goal of, okay, I want to make 10K per month, right? Everyone says it, 10K per month, it'll make you financially free. But that's not really true, right? 10K per month, if you're doing business after taxes, is probably like 6K per month, right? That's not even including expenses, right? Let's say expenses is like, I don't know, 2K for editors, right? And then you have like 4K per month. And then boom, you got rent. And I always hate hearing 10K per month because 10K per month isn't 10K per month. What you should really be aiming for is like 40K per month, right? 40K per month is a really good spot to be. Most of the thoughts you have are not your thoughts. It's just people who you've listened to on the internet who has kind of fed you these information to try to sell you something, right? We try to keep it real here. 40K per month is probably a good spot to be after taxes, after business expenses, where you can still get a pretty nice apartment, a nice car, and you can go out to eat and you don't have to worry about things too much, right? Right now, across all the channels we're running, we're making around $120,000. Well, actually, this month's actually closer to $80,000 because we're down a little bit because RPMs do drop in March. But regardless, it's still pretty good money. And we still have, SaaS. We have, our program that we run. We also have equity in companies that our agency works with. So we have a lot of different ways to make money. But from the YouTube side of things, we're making around 80K. Now, I'm not saying that you should be aiming for exactly 40K as like your goal, but aim higher. Don't aim for 10K a month because you heard some guru fucking say it online, bro. Right? It's not going to help you. Right? Sure, it's a good spot to start, but you could be doing so much better. I'm sure you've heard the quote, shoot among the stars or shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Right? So if you shoot high and you fail, you still end up landing higher than the average person. Right? I recently bought a Corvette, a C8 Corvette, and I'm currently 20 right now, right? And it's a pretty proud accomplishment for me, but that's only because I decided that like, okay, I want to get a Corvette, when I'm 20, right? If I said I wanted to get a Lamborghini when I was 20, I probably would have been able to get that too. If I said I wanted to get I don't know, a McLaren, if I said I wanted to get a Toyota Camry, whatever it would have been, I would have gotten it. But if you shoot for that belief, right, you will get that. Now, I'm not really a car guy. I just like the way the Vettys look. All right. Next thing, I want to tell you a quote from Kobe Bryant. And he says something along the lines of, once I realized the world was my library, basketball became so much easier, right? I don't remember the exact quote, but he is basically talking about how when he started basically taking information from everywhere and started implementing it to his own content, he was able to, or his own game, he was able to start scaling. And you could do the same thing for content as well, right? A lot of people that I talk to think having social interactions with people outside of YouTube or work is a bad thing, right? They cut off their parents or their day ones, or they stop watching videos that are not related to business. And that affects their psychology a lot because surprisingly enough, if you only focus on YouTube, right, and you only watch videos about YouTube and you only do YouTube, then your entire life is just YouTube. And this is fine, but guess what? As a YouTube, we have to be creative because we are creators. And as a creator, we need to operate underneath a business owner perspective. And business owners need to have multiple perspectives, which is why it's important to consume different types of media and make sure you're actually trying to understand the people around you and take that insight in, right? Just because you're trying to do YouTube does not mean everyone else around you is stupid because they want to go to college. It's a big problem I see with a lot of people in the space. They have really big egos. And this happens just in business in general. When you start making money or you're even pursuing something, you're not even making money, you have this superiority complex where you're like, I'm doing so much better than everyone else, or I'm gonna do this better than you, I'm gonna be better than you. And it creates this sense of ego. And guess what? When you have ego, it also prevents growth because ego and growth are opposites. You cannot grow fully until your ego is killed. I made an entire video on this. It was like just talking about ego and everything, and it's very, very informative. I recommend watching it. It's just like a face full video, and it's very important as a business owner, right? Because a lot of people have egos, and it's important to be humble and learn. And why is this important to breaking out of this? Is because a lot of people trap themselves in a box, right? A lot of creators, they have this little box they're in, and they see themselves as a persona of like, okay, I can only upload videos about Roblox. One of my best friends, he makes content in Roblox. He has like 2 million subs. Love this guy, right? And I was talking with him because he was making Roblox content. He was doing really well. He's kind of dialed it down a little bit and revenue went down, right? Went from like 35K to like 2K a month. And I was talking with him and I was like, the reason why I think you're not scaling is because you're trapping yourself in a box, right? This is not the corporate ladder. This is not a 9 to 5. We are running a business, and business means you can do anything, right? Just because you have a Roblox channel does not mean you can only upload Roblox. You can switch to Minecraft. You can switch to My Little Pony ranking if you wanted to, right? There's nothing stopping you from changing your niche, changing the content, other than the psychological limits you're putting on yourself, saying, I can't upload this because, and there's no reason, right? It's the same reason why when you tell someone like you should quit your job and start a business, they just start like, I can't quit because I have this to pay and this to pay. And like, what if the business fails? And like, you could just start the business on a side, right? Or like, you're gonna get kicked out of your house. You can go crash at someone else's house. Like, there's always ways around it, right? Don't limit yourself because you have this identity attached to yourself, right? And this kind of goes back to the limiting beliefs as well. But yeah, just don't limit yourself because you feel like you have to match a certain identity. Um, I hope that information that I kind of shared with you guys will help. And this isn't supposed to be some guru advice where you just take it and then you go watch the next guru video, right? Actually take the information I said here, ego, understanding for different perspectives, understanding not trapping yourself in a niche, understanding limiting beliefs, understanding retention gut, right? Making sure you're testing different videos. If you notice, it's all about collecting data, right? That's the main point of this. Once you collect enough data, you are able to scale. All right. So collect more data, understand what's working, and fix it. Right. The reason I'm saying it this way is because I have people who watch these videos who are in ranking or Roblox commentary or AI commentary. Maybe they're doing animations. Maybe they're doing face content, whatever it is, right? Everything applies to collecting more data and understanding how you can improve it. All right. I hope this video was helpful. If it was helpful, guys, if you guys could drop me a sub. And also, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, we have lots of students who we scale up consistently. It's like 35K a month. For example, like this student, I mean, like that's just in the past 28 days. I mean, he's up like $42,000. We're getting like 4K days. I mean, guys, we get some pretty amazing results in our program. And if you guys want to work with us individually, go ahead and apply down below. And also, guys, just if you guys like this video in general, just comment. I wanted to see. I mean, was this helpful for you guys? I hope it was. All right, see you guys later. All right, love you guys. Bye.